I'm not gonna kill you.
Oh, that
I'm just gonna
one.
hurt ya. Real bad. You wanna know how I got these scars? You know what I mean?
All right, why you laughing? Why you laughing? And then, boom, boom, boom. Oh man.
Yo, we're back. Delirium Hour is back.
What's up?
It's been a minute. I'm sorry. We apologize for the delay. There were circumstances and everything, but after getting all that fixed and figured out, we're back to bring you another movie discussion. And today we're talking about Joker, another clown, but not just any clown, the clown prince of crime himself. I'm talking with my hands quite a lot today. But yeah, we're back. And just in time too, because it's October, and here at Delirium Hour we take October pretty seriously. Hence the little revamp. We got this brand new sign right here to replace our old one, because if you didn't notice, in our last video, this one was not even lit up. Guess what? This one broke on the day of filming. So
Yeah, so if you want to sponsor us and get us a new one that works, that'd be awesome.
needless to say, we are not buying any more of those at all. I'm done. But but yeah, okay, so we're back. We're talking about Joker, directed by Todd Phillips. The movie, the hype has been real for this one.
Yes.
And it's starring Joaquin Phoenix as the clown prince of crime. We also have minor roles. I mean, this movie is a character study mostly on Joaquin's Arthur Fleck, but we do get a performance from Zazie Beetz and the incomparable Robert De Niro. So it's a interesting cast.
I think I just want to start right now and just give Joaquin Phoenix a round of applause.
Joaquin Phoenix,
Dude.
that man, you are an artiste, sir, and you have created some art.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. Honestly, every time he has a role, I feel like it tops his last one. This is probably going to be one of the top contenders for movie of the year. And I don't know, dude. The hype really paid off. Like, they've been talking about this movie for years. And I don't think I was let down one single second. 10 out of 10 for me. Sorry, quick spoiler review. But yeah, 10 out of 10. Really good freaking movie.
Yeah. So a little background info on Joker. This movie is, like I said, it's a character study. It really studies Joaquin Phoenix, Arthur Fleck. And you know, for non-DC comic fans, you'd be like, Arthur Fleck, like, who's that? It's this version or this iteration of the Joker this time around. And it explores one of the most complex and iconic movie villains or not even movie villains, but just iconic villains of all time. It's the clown prince of crime, the Joker. And in this movie, we dive into this deranged man's beginnings, and we watch as he kind of falls through the cracks of, you know, society, his sanity. It's just all the whole 9 yards.
One thing I kind of want to say too is the one thing I really appreciate is when Joker is depicted on film. It's such a different experience. I'm really glad that Todd Phillips and Christopher Nolan have taken a more realistic approach to the character, and they didn't really do anything that was already done before. They did take inspiration from different comic book storylines and such, but like, I was really pleasantly surprised because at least with The Dark Knight, when they did Heath Ledger's Joker, it was cool because you could kind of see how there's like a like ex-military, like PTSD victim take on the Joker. And this time around, they took someone with like a mental disorder that you could easily maybe bump into on the street and possibly even empathize with, who takes this one descent down into becoming this madman on just one bad day.
I think that's what made the movie so good, is that, like, not saying that he's super relatable,
Yeah,
for
but he is
everyone,
relatable, yeah.
but like they really bring him down to earth.
Right. Like, even when the movie opens too, you kind of feel for him. You know, he's a loner, he doesn't have any friends, and he's just
like
trying
the
to
first
get
scene
by.
is him like getting beat up, right?
One
Or,
of the
like,
first
it leads up
scenes,
to him
yeah.
One of the
being
first
beat
scenes
up.
is the
No, I remember
sign
too. Like when the
scene.
movie opened, like the first 3 minutes, like I felt so uncomfortable because they didn't talk. No one said a word, and it just showed
Yeah,
him.
it was just
like,
him laughing.
Yeah, it was just him going through his life, and it was.
But it wasn't him laughing that, as
Yeah.
you see through the movie, that him laughing is actually the opposite.
Yeah.
And
Right. Yeah. That was an interesting like dynamic again. Like in this movie, it was they really changed the whole like Joker laugh mythos for this one in particular. And if you watch the movie, you would know that his condition is, or his laughter, it comes from a condition rather than, I guess, euphoria. You know, like like manic laughing, or like it doesn't come from him being happy or having fun doing whatever he's doing. It's a condition where it leads into uncontrollable laughing and or crying, and it doesn't always match up with what the person is feeling inside. That being said, it was a really cool aspect because it made, like Jonah said, it made Joker relatable. Like up to this point, whenever we saw the Joker on the big screen, we identified him as like the villain. You know, like, oh, this guy is gonna, you know, mess some shit up. This guy is gonna, you know,
He's
make
not
the
gonna kill
Batman's
you.
head
He's
and
just gonna
like
hurt
twist
you.
around like a real owl, like, or not owl, bat. Jeez, getting all my animals messed up. But this time around, we identify with the Joker. He's the protagonist. But he's still the villain. It's such a crazy, like, you know, relationship.
Yeah.
This time around, it's
Like,
awesome.
yeah.
I would even argue that some people could easily say that he's like an anti-hero in this one. Obviously, he's a murderer, but so is Deadpool.
I mean, all the
Yeah, like it would be such a pleasure to take this movie and watch it as if you've never seen anything about like the Joker before, like don't even know who the Joker is, to just kind of look at this as a character study. That would be, I don't know if it's even possible. Like everybody probably knows who the Joker
like
is
the
at this
best,
point.
the best thing about this movie really is the character that the
Willow
characterization of the
Yeah.
Joker, and how Joaquin Phoenix just portrays that. Oh man, it's just a ride of. You're just going to ride with Arthur Fleck on his day, and the way that transitions throughout the whole movie, you just really feel for him.
Actually, I think like the movie takes place over like a week, right? Because then it slowly transitions into
kind of
that
unclear.
final bad day. Because I know they show him over like
I'm not sure if it's like a week or so.
or maybe
It's
just
kinda
a very
unclear, I
short
think.
amount of time. I don't know if it's true though.
Yeah, but yeah, it did take inspiration from like the Killing Joke comic.
Yeah, Dark Knight
Right.
Returns
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, but it's cool because it's like it's still different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is not for those who are expecting like a direct adaptation of the Killing Joke and everything. And for those who don't know, that's a very popular Joker origin comic story. But they do take influences from it to kind of keep like the character of the Joker still justify his character. You know what I mean? But Todd Phillips, he wrote this story and he directed it too, and it's his own kind of like creation, his own iteration of the Joker. It's so different, and you know what's so amazing about that is, pardon me, I am such a big DC comic fan geek.
Doesn't it feel nice to be a DC fan?
Dude, it's DC fans. We did it. We got one. They did it.
I think it'd be a good time for here to mention that about like DC Black and like
Yeah.
yeah, and like this is supposedly the first DC Black film, and that's like a more indie, not specifically indie, but like a different approach to other characters in the DC universe.
Yeah.
And with the first movie of DC Black being the Joker, and it just doing so well, I'm excited for what the rest may be.
I mean, like, Joker was kind of like the starting movie to kind of see if they could get the green light to go with DC Black, like Jonas said, and to kind of elaborate on that, it's a really cool prospect because it's essentially them not really being restrained by comic book stories and everything. Like they're always gonna draw influence from it, of course, right? But what their purpose for this project DC Black is is to kind of tackle Elseworld stories, like what if stories. You know what I mean? Like stories are a little bit different, where it portrays the characters that we know and love in a slightly different way, but it still kind of keeps their core. And it's awesome because it's like in this world and generation or time of superhero fatigue, this is a breath of fresh air.
It's so refreshing.
It's like we needed this, you know. Like I can only see the hero show up and, you know, battle the villain and, you know, win so many times. Like I gotta get some variety.
Granted, a lot of people are labeling this as like a Batman movie, but I'm almost kind of glad that we only see Batman for like maybe like even 5 minutes in the whole movie.
Well, he's not even Batman yet.
He's not even Batman yet, which is cool
Bruce
because
Wayne.
like the whole movie you want to follow Arthur's story and you want to see like how the other side lives, I guess, because in most movies nowadays when they show the superhero, it's all about the superhero and their life.
Right.
You don't see the villain and you don't see any empathy for them because they don't seem relatable.
Yeah, I mean, like I would argue villains are even more interesting than heroes sometimes, man. Right. Like sometimes they can be just as complex, if not more complex. Right. You know, and especially this take on the Joker, it's complexity. Yeah. You go in, you're like, what's happening? You know what I mean?
I think if you know Batman, and like a lot of people love Batman, I think that you'll see how they portrayed the Joker in here as like the perfect antithesis to Batman.
Yeah. Yes. And they, sorry.
You can.
They didn't have to include Bruce Wayne, but you know what I mean, for like DC fans out there, people who love the mythology and everything, to include just the small inclusion of Bruce Wayne, his parents, and everything, it was to me like the perfect compliment, because it's like Joker can be an interesting story by himself, but don't find like the Bruce Wayne aspect as like, oh, them trying to supplement. It's more of like the cherry on top.
Yeah,
like,
really
they didn't need
it.
Right.
They added to it. It was, DC fans.
Man, even like how they displayed Gotham and like the political climate that it was in, dude, it was perfect. Because I think one of the best parts of the movie is when, like it is towards the end when like they start rioting and then they eventually do kill Thomas Wayne. Their justification for that was that politically they felt like he wasn't really keeping up with his end of the bargain. He didn't really support like the poverty or like the impoverished side of Gotham. And in one sense, if you look at it, like Joker is kind of their like mascot. They look at him and they riot for him because they feel like he's the representation of, I don't know, like their senses of freedom in one hand or another, I guess. But like when he did that thing that he did at the end, which we'll talk about later, they celebrated. And in his eyes, he probably feels like he's kind of answered their wishes, you know? Like he's
the hero that Gotham
needed.
Exactly.
He's a hero that Gotham needed, which is cool because we talked about how Batman's like the perfect antithesis and how they represented Joker in this light. I think they did such a good job with that. Like I can't even keep commending him for it. Like it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
One thing I focused on in the movie was that you think about Batman, right? And I was thinking about, why doesn't Batman ever kill a Joker? Why doesn't Batman ever kill his villains, you know?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, Batman doesn't kill a Joker because he wants to, he can, okay, let me start over. But this movie portrays Joker as kind of like a guy with a mental health problem, and like he has a problem that could be cured, or he's just like, he's not just a villain, he's a human being with fucking feelings.
It's like you take a character who has already like the disposition for violence, and that's his mental illness. Like he has that thing that just needs the right amount of stressors, need the right amount of life events, environment, to kind of like affect him, and then the dominoes fall down, and it leads to his eventual like madness and the breaking point, and he just spirals into violence and everything. And I mean, it doesn't justify, you know, like his actions, like just because he has mental illness, but it's just, you know, we keep saying it, but we'll just say it. We'll just continue to say it, but it just makes it relatable,
right?
You know what I mean? Like
in the same way Batman or Bruce Wayne became Batman.
Yeah.
Like,
and the reason why he does what he does.
Yeah. Like he couldn't help Joker become the Joker. Like, I mean, it wasn't his fault Joker became Joker, but he knows that like everyone's gone through trauma, especially him. So I think he understands that.
I mean, Batman's like
they're just two traumatized individuals.
Yeah, so yeah, he just wants to save everyone, I guess.
And what goes down an alleyway that has holes in it? My parents.
Get over your dead parents already. Didn't your parents die? Don't bring it up! I was a boy! Now I'm a bat!
Have you seen that? It's like I was gonna say a bowling ball. I love it.
But yeah, I remember in the movie we were watching, and then the movie theater, we see the movie theater pan to the alley.
Yeah.
No!
Oh man, what a treat though. What a treat. Okay, that's a good segue into parallel symbolism. Like, I'll say this about the movie.
Oh my god, all the parallels in this movie.
Right? It's amazing. Okay, I'll say this about this movie really quick and we'll get to the parallel. This movie I still don't think it's for everyone, but I really do believe that if you're into like the art of cinema and everything, it's something to really like watch, because it's not packaged in this easy to digest blockbuster format. You don't go in to be
Thank God.
Oh, popcorn flick, let's go. It just makes you feel a certain way, and that has to do with like a lot of stuff like the music and the directorial style, but the symbolism. We'll get to that. Like, just tell them what's one of like the best symbolisms in the movie.
Like, just like to knock it off. One of the first ones is him being in the bus, right? So he's in the bus and he's really sad, and his head's like on the window because he has to use the bus to commute. But at the end of the movie, he's in the cop car. He's happy. Or actually, I want to say there's one more point when he's in the... Oh, no, that wasn't him. I was going to say he was looking at that guy who was wearing the clown mask in the car. But there's 2 points in the beginning of the movie, and then at the end when he's in the cop car, he's like happy, he's smiling, he's himself. In the beginning of the movie, he even tells you like he's just lost. He doesn't know what to do, and he doesn't feel like anyone realizes that he exists. At the end of the movie, he exists. It's crazy.
Yeah,
that's just one parallelism. It's crazy.
I mean, from the very beginning part of the movie, right? The camera pans onto Arthur Fleck's face, and you can tell like this guy, like you can see his physique. He's going through it. He's going through it so hard, and he puts his fingers in his mouth and he pulls it right into his smile.
Yeah,
it's so hard. He starts to cry. You know what I mean?
That's another parallelism too, because at the end of the movie, instead of forcing his mouth to smile, he smiles as if it's just natural. He makes oh my god.
And he gets that iconic Joker smile.
Right? You guys are forgetting the most important part when he smears the blood.
Oh
man, dude.
Yeah, like the whole movie he kept doing that, right? And then it's like you want it to happen, you finally see at the end.
Man. Oh man. Another one that I thought was extremely profound, and like maybe some people kind of would call it maybe pretentious, but I thought it was good parallel symbolism. So before or in the beginning parts of the movie, he's Arthur Fleck. Gotham is dark. It's at nighttime. He goes up, he ascends these stairs, right? And he's depressed. He's sad going up the stairs. By the end of the movie, he goes down the stairs, but it's all bright outside.
Yeah, and
things
he's
are
dancing,
fine.
He's happy.
The makeup is on. The suit is on. The vibe
he
is on. Dude, it's perfect because it's like it's saying it's this contradiction. He's happier now, but he's descending into madness. While before he was ascending up the stairs, but like he wasn't himself. He didn't feel like he was real and everything. It's just so good.
And it kind of just shows that like sometimes it's just easier for people who have it hard to just take it the conformative way and just be themselves, whatever that may be.
It just sucks because he's happier more than ever, but man, people gotta pay for it. It's like but that's the best part. Another great part was the movie, like you root for that villain. You want him to be happy. You want him to be happy. You want him to like start killing. Because come on, man. when the makeup was on and he was doing his Joker thing, I was like, yes, but people were dying. So it's a weird relationship. It's a weird feeling that I felt.
I remember I was saying I'd want to be friends with Pennywise.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure if I would want to be friends with the Joker.
That man's unstable.
Yeah, I mean,
that man's
unless I
unstable.
was like, you know, like a midget. I don't think I'd be safe.
Isn't that like? I think that's like one of his like supposed to be like his main buddies, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think. Well, he's one of the coworkers because they all work for like this clown company.
Yeah.
But he's the one that was always nice to him. I think. Like he's the one that's always asking him like, "Oh, how you doing? You know, sorry you lost your job," that kind of stuff.
Oh man. You know what I thought was really amazing about this movie? I thought the pacing was really good. I mean, everything.
The pacing was really good.
But
too.
I really, really commend the pacing because I felt like a character study like this, where we're essentially like watching as a character kind of like loses it more and more, descends into madness, like we keep saying. Sometimes, one of my concerns before even going into the movie, I was like, I hope that transition feels natural. It feels realistic.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like, he has one bad thing happen to him, and then
nothing felt forced.
You want to know how I got these scars? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to be that way, but
the cool
it was
thing is
perfect.
too. The last time we reviewed a movie was It Chapter 2, and we talked about how really, really freaking poor the pacing was. It was overextended, too long. There's too many storylines that weren't really taken care of. This movie, if you want to learn how to make a really well-paced movie, watch The Joker.
Yeah,
because I think every single scene in the movie has importance. I would not want to watch the movie with
everything
any
like
single
had
scene.
importance and related to his character.
I almost feel like too, if there was a director's cut, it would be the exact same movie, or maybe a little bit more, but still, like
probably more.
Todd Phillips, I think he took his time. He made sure this is the movie he wanted to make. But the cool thing too is if you think about it, like, not a lot of directors these days get that freedom to make the movie that they wanted, and that's almost like one of the reasons why Edgar Wright left Ant-Man, that kind of stuff with Marvel.
Yeah.
But DC took the chance and they gave Todd Phillips full creative capacity to make this movie, and it killed.
It shows. Dude. It shows when it shows like one person had his vision, and that movie is a reflection of that one vision. It sucks when it's like 50 guys in one board meeting, like having visions, and the movie comes like this jigsaw of.
And I think this is how DC will shine.
Yeah, come on, so. DC, keep it going. You know, like you're offering something different, so that's great. Back to pacing. Just one more thing that I wanted to add is, you know, we talk about like he descends into madness. The dominoes, they naturally fall. So in the comics, you know, we all know this. Joker's always, one of his most notable lines is, "Oh, it only takes one bad day," right? Yeah. And I mean, in this movie, in this case, it's years and years of bad days, but like the final dominoes, those final bad days and eventually day.
Push me to the edge.
It pushed them to the edge. You know what I mean? And they're bombshells. Like what he learns, it's like bombshell left and right. Oh, your daddy is Thomas Wayne. What? Oh, your mom crazy. What? And you're adopted. What? It's like they're just the perfect dominoes to fall down. And he goes, one of the big like twist endings, he goes into like his supposedly girlfriend's house and he sits down and she sees him, and we know that it's the delusion. And he's like, I had a bad day. And that's kind of the precursor to the eventual transformation.
Plot twist, or not really plot twist if you saw it coming, but like his girlfriend was all in his head.
Yeah.
I love all the memes where they're like, you really thought this guy could pull Zazie Beetz?
Yeah. Like when he got with her, he's just like, he opened the door and he's like, I want you. Like, I'm a man. Smooth. You're a woman. Yeah. Let's do this.
Is that how it works now? Is that how it works now? Like I've been doing this vlog my entire life.
Yeah.
You are a woman. I am a man. Let's just do this thing, you know?
Yeah, but I guess the jokes were on us.
But it didn't work.
It was tough too, because like even if like you had your like, I don't know, you had your idea that this was all fake and it's all like in his head. The cool thing is like Todd Phillips kind of puts little clues. I think it's really absurd that he could pull this girl just by doing like this really quirky kind of like, remember?
Yeah.
And then he does like a weird face and then she like smiles.
Yeah, most people would just be like, what the frick, I gotta get out of here.
I know.
But talking about that, it'd be really nice to watch it a second time.
Yeah.
So you get to pick up on all those little details.
Yes.
Like, oh, this is not real. Like he's crazy right now.
It's definitely a movie where you have to
that
watch
was
it a
cool
second
though.
time.
That reveal was really pleasant to watch.
It was good. I mean, even if you saw it coming, and then you can see like, oh man, he was like, what's going on? I'm not okay. I'm not sane. And then even the audience was like, what's going on? You're not sane. You know?
Yeah.
I don't have specific examples, but like just everything that in the movie, like every aspect of the film worked together to really show how crazy he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, even if you didn't know, like, we keep going back. I think he seems still relatable, you know? Like, there's aspects of him where he has a mental condition and you kind of feel for him in that sense. But then in other ways too, like, on a smaller scale, people do fantasize. They think that so-and-so is like their girlfriend, or like they'll imagine a relationship with this person.
Yeah.
Or like they'll even, I don't know, there's that one daydream that he does where he's watching the Murray Franklin
show.
I think it's
whatever show.
Mm-hmm. But like he's just imagining he's in the crowd, and if they picked on him, what would he say? And he would,
poor guy.
Exactly. But
it just shows him just like a regular human being.
Exactly, yeah.
Like,
people daydream.
I daydream.
I think one like thing that really stood out was when the abrupt music changes.
Yeah. The soundtrack in this movie is
the score.
Yeah.
Oh my god, bon appetito.
Oh. It really visualized.
My compliments to the chef.
It really visualized like when he's crazy, I guess, or like when it's all in his head.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know what, like the soundtrack, it didn't really change. Like they reused a lot of songs, but it really added to kind of like this overall atmosphere to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you watch the movie, it's this beautiful kind of like creepy but like eerie but hauntingly beautiful.
Yeah, it's art. Every time I heard that soundtrack in a scene where there's very divisive scenes where it's him obviously descending and then taking that next step, but oh dude, every scene and every like song that was used was perfectly put together, and it was, I don't know, just beautiful. Like that scene where he's in the bathroom right after he
kills the people, right?
That I looked at that scene, I was like, this is beautiful. This is perfect.
Yeah, it was like I watched the YouTube video where Todd Phillips kind of breaks down that scene.
How it almost was a different, like completely different take.
It was like in that scene, you would think like he would go and he was supposed to. I think it was originally
he was supposed to hide the gun, and then they're like, "This doesn't look like him. This doesn't feel like him."
Yeah, and then like it became the scene that we all know, or we watched it. It starts dancing, and this music plays, and for a minute there, you forget like you're watching a movie. It's more like you're watching this performance, like this play,
like a play or like a ballet. Dude,
it's
wow.
It transcended. You know what I mean? Like amazing, and just really made you feel a certain way throughout the movie. Rather than telling you the story, I really felt it just showed you the story, and like the music was as instrumental to the plot as Arthur Fleck himself.
Yeah.
It wasn't a compliment. It was almost like this is part of it. Like you need the soundtrack to understand and feel what's happening, what's going to unfold.
For me, the best films are when films are really like pieces of art. Yes. And that movie was a beautiful piece of art.
Bon appetit.
My compliments to the chef, Chef Todd Phillips.
Yeah. So earlier we talked about parallelisms within the movie, which there are a ton of. But right now we wanted to take some time to talk about the actual violence and the killings in the movie. So starting off, we have the first killing. Jonah, would you like to recap?
Which one was the first killing, actually? Was that the one? Was the train station one?
Yeah, the three employees.
I mean, arguably the most monumental one in the sense. It kind of really starts everything off.
That one's crazy.
But I like that every time someone died, it was really impactful.
Yeah.
Like, it really
I hate to say it, too, because, like, there's obviously a lot of controversy, which we'll talk about, regarding the violence in the movie. Yeah. But, yeah, like, honestly, every single killing in this movie had some sort of meaning, had some sort of impact. It wasn't just nonchalant, like you could say.
It wasn't like senseless murder. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right. It was all integral to him becoming Joker.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. Like it starts off kind of like this way, and then it gets a little bit crazier, and gets a little bit crazier, it gets a little bit more like extravagant, flamboyant, and it's.
But I think that's like I think that might be one of my top scenes in the movie.
The first one
in the train when they're messing with that girl, and then like they're like, all right, why you laughing? Why you laughing? And then boom, boom, boom. Oh man. And
so unsettling.
It's so well choreographed too, and like
yeah. The cool thing is, like, small parallelism I want to talk about is the first time we see him, he gets beat up by some kids. It's really bad. You know, he loses the fight, doesn't really defend himself. But this time, you are hinted at the fact that he has the gun, but you kind of forget when you're watching the scene. He's getting beat up. You're like, oh man, it's gonna happen again. Bam, bam, bam.
Because up to that point, like this man, he has no disposition for violence. Like you don't really go
with
oh,
the
this
kids.
guy's
He
gonna
didn't
lash
fight
out.
back. You know, he ran after because they took his sign.
Like he's been getting beat on, and this time he's the one that reacts, or not reacts, but reacts.
But the cool thing too is immediately following this scene of him, you know, committing these crimes, murder, he goes into the restroom, and what does he do? He dances.
Yes.
Like that's the craziest part for me, because I looked at it as him becoming himself, because he always talks about how people don't see him, he doesn't feel like he exists. In this scene, I feel like he's becoming one with his own humanity. Like he's really embracing the fact that like I am something that I like, a force of nature that has done something. I don't know.
Right. I mean, okay, we'll get back to the kills, but you just reminded me towards the end when they're like, when Murray's like, you know, you did this, you know, look at what you did outside. You know, like Gotham is going to shit. You know, it's not even like a dump now. It's a dump on fire. Like that's what Gotham is, right? And he goes, I know, Murray. You know, I mean, he knows because he did this. He finally did something.
I think even then, like he maybe didn't even understand it himself, and that's why that one scene with him killing Murray, like, oof. Like that's so pivotal, because you even know before the scene happens, there's that small there's a part where he's like rehearsing it, and then he's supposed to like kill himself, right? Like that's what he's making you think, that's what the audience is supposed to believe. In this scene, I don't think he even knew that he was gonna kill Murray until this happened. Like Murray's egging him on, and he's saying like, you know what, you did this, like you deserve this, and everyone's like, no, cut the show. And Murray's like, no, I'm gonna like tell this guy what he boom.
Bang!
It's like,
damn,
everyone's mean to each other. They always yell at each other.
Yeah.
You're mean too. You're just like them. You know?
You're mean. You invited me on the show
just to make fun of me.
Yeah.
So.
I love that part too, where like he stops after he kills Murray. Like he sits there and he smiles, and like everything's going to shit. Everyone's going crazy. He just sits there like smiling. He's like, I fucking did this.
Yeah. But he's just like, he's so happy with himself.
Yeah.
He's so happy with himself. And we were so happy for him. If we're going to talk about this movie, there's certain things that we kind of have to talk about. If you follow the movie, you know that there's been like this crazy controversy about this movie possibly inspiring other people to kind of turn to violence, you know, like kind of giving us a character that's relatable, and we kind of root for him as he starts lashing out and everything, and it makes us question, like, is this inspiring people to lash out, to turn to violence, to solve their problems, or, you know, in response to their problems? Like, what do you guys think?
Like, I think it's just another movie, and like and I don't know, I feel like people just want to just pull shit out of their asses, you know. Like,
I also don't want to be insensitive too. Like, there are some relevant opinions about this issue, but sure. Yeah, like it's a movie, you know, like you're gonna see the same issues regarding video games, regarding TV shows, films, like what Quentin Tarantino's whole career is.
Yeah, we've had so much more violent movies in the past,
bro. Yeah, like
even if you think about it, it's kind of crazy. He really only killed like maybe 4 people. No, okay, fine. 3 plus
what's with
5.
What's with,
6 people. 6
what's
people.
with everyone being so
7
sensitive about this movie, man?
Yeah,
I've seen more movies where people kill so much more. Like you said, Quentin Tarantino.
I will say though, I think the reason why the issue is so relevant for this movie in particular is because of the way they portray the character. I think you look at Joker as someone that's an everyday man that could easily be anyone around you. Like that's maybe it gives more relevance to the reason why people say that this movie promotes violence. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's a movie. The other thing too is like people were saying, "Oh, you shouldn't bring your kids to this." No shit, you shouldn't bring your kids to this. It's an R-rated movie.
What are you doing?
Like, don't show your kids this movie.
This movie was not meant for the family.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, it's not.
If anything, this movie was so niche.
Yes.
Like it came out. It's an indie film.
That's a good word.
People aren't even gonna watch this, right? They didn't assume it was gonna like have the cultural impact that it did. Even though it's, DC and it has the name Joker. But yeah, like they don't promote this movie as a violent movie that's going to make people like clamor over to watch it. It's just a film.
I think people are missing the point, the message, in that Joker is someone that is relatable. Not in the sense that we should go and be like him and shoot people up, but in that it's an insight to like other people's minds with mental illnesses, and it's social commentary on how we should be taking care of others.
Yeah, that could be an Arthur Fleck somewhere right now, and if he's pushed the right way, pushed in the right ways in enough times, like that might happen. And even though this movie does make or portray a relatable character that turns into violence, I still say, cinema is art, and even like those things, it shouldn't get in the way of art. It shouldn't affect how you look at art. Like art is often imitates life, and this movie kind of imitates life in that sense. You know what I mean? Like that this could happen. I mean, is it just because it could inspire someone to turn to violence doesn't mean it shouldn't be made? Doesn't mean it shouldn't be watched? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like it has its impact, and it's a pretty darn good one.
Gotham's like a place. If it kind of shows how society would be if it went really bad.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Oh, to wrap it up, what do you guys think about the movie? Even though I already know what you guys are gonna say, go on, tell the viewers.
I said it before. 10 out of 10. I think it deserves every single point, compliment, review that's praised this movie. Yeah, dude, watch this movie. If you haven't watched the movie, go out and watch the movie. Try to watch it in Dolby, but 10 out of 10. Soundtrack, directing, acting, cinematography.
Bon appetito.
Oh my compliments.
My compliments to the show.
I just want to say, like, my favorite films are pieces of art, and Joker was a beautiful piece of art on just society and how dark it really is. And there's a lot to say about this movie, and we could keep going.
Right.
Yeah, let's make that clear. We didn't get half the things we wanted to say about this movie.
No, we got like maybe 10%.
It's you just gotta watch it to really like see what we're talking about. It's insane. But
so is Joker.
Dun, dun,
dun. Continue our discussion down below in the comments. And I feel like such a
tell us what you
YouTuber.
think. If you watched the movie, I know you've probably liked it. I've heard a lot of people around us start talking about it. I want to hear your praises.
All right, my final concluding thoughts. I just want to say this movie was my most anticipated movie of the entire year. Right, I've been hyped on this movie since
Endgame came out this year.
No, dude, trust, bro. Joker, for me, the DC fan, rejoiced, dude.
Yeah.
And get ready for these big news. It didn't disappoint.
No.
What?
The whole time we watched it, I was in the theater, dude. Every single second, I was hooked on in this movie. Remember, you had to go to the bathroom, and you're like,
"Is this just every movie?"
Yeah,
just a movie thing.
No, I can't miss it.
All right. Martin Scorsese, I know you say you don't like comic movies, you don't think that they're cinema, but I implore you to watch this, and maybe you'll think different, because that's how I really feel about this movie.
And if you want to talk about it, come to our channel.
He was part of this movie in the beginning.
He was, but
yeah.
Dude, that'd be awesome if we got on
Martin Scorsese.
All right, Martin
Delirium
Scorsese,
Hour,
you have an invitation to come to Delirium Hour and tell me what you think about this movie.
All right, thanks for watching our discussion on the Joker, and we'll see you next time.
We'll come back soon. We promise. Maybe not. Maybe. Okay, check every day. Okay, bye.
Peace out.